We've all been there. You get a super fire lead in the DMs, ready to book, ready to close, but then you jump on the call and it all goes wrong. You freeze and feel super awkward on the call. They feel like they're getting pushed into a corner, and then you get hit with, I need to think about it at the end of the call, and you're sat there wondering, where did it all go wrong? The truth is, if you can't pitch your coaching in the right way, you're never going to sign high ticket clients. So here's how to pitch and run your sales call in a way that doesn't make you sound like a salesperson. Step one is to set the frame. And I don't mean in the first 30 seconds, chop it up with them, say a couple jokes about something in their background or maybe the area that they're from, make them feel comfortable. But when the sales call starts, you need to set the frame and start off with an authority opener. Let them know that this call is to see if we're a fit. The whole reason why we set the frame in the first place is so that you have the control of the call. Think of it like a lion's den. You need them to know that they're an outsider stepping into your world, not the person who actually is in control of the call. What this also does is position you as the guide, not the beggar. People respect abundance. People respect authority. The reason why is because you don't need it. If you don't need something or you don't need someone, when someone feels that energy, they automatically have to respect it. Because most people are super desperate to get $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000. So if you have the energy of someone who isn't desperate, then the person's like, oh, cool. Yeah, this doesn't feel awkward. This feels natural, like I'm meant to be here. And lastly, confidence equals trust. Think if you were going to go fly in a helicopter and you sit down in the helicopter, you look at the pilot and he's all sweating and he's flustered and he's like, it's my first time flying a helicopter. You're going to fucking shit yourself. You're not going to stay on there. You're not going to stay for the ride. You're going to get straight off and leave. And that's exactly what happens on a sales call. You think if you're stumbling over the words or struggling to say what the price is or saying your price and your offer in an unconfident way, that someone's going to be likely to buy from you? Of course they're not. But if you were to jump in a helicopter ride and he cracks jokes with you and he's like, hey man, what's going on? Yeah, we're going to love it today. This is like my 100th time doing this. Honestly, this route is amazing. Make sure when we get to this point that you look out in the mountain. There's a cool little thing. There's a cool little statue you can see. You can be like, oh shit, this guy knows what he's doing. He's the G. I can't wait for this. It's the exact same on a sales call. Confidence equals trust. So even if you're being blindly confident or you're having to put on a facade, be confident and people will trust you. Step two is your discovery. This is when you're going to find out all the information like their pain and their goal and everything else you need to see so that you can package it all together and you can handle any objections later down the line by using this emotional information that you've got. But you also know how to pitch and tailor your product in a way that's specific to them. So you're not just giving them basic macros, check-ins and meal plans, but you're giving them the exact thing that they need to succeed. So when you're digging for the pain points, you need to understand what's hurt them before, what stopped them before, and how that made them feel, and why did that happen, and how has that impacted their life in other areas, how has that impacted their relationship, how does that make them feel when they look in the mirror. You also need to find out their goals and why now is the time. Look, John, you've been thinking about getting in shape for 6 months, you said to me earlier. So why is now a different time? How do I not know that if we onboard you to the program, you're just going to carry on not trying? Oh, well, actually, I just know with your one-on-one accountability, if I was to be onboarded, I would absolutely smash my goals and I know this is what I need. So then when he hits you with, I need to think about it at the end of the call, you say, but John, the person who becomes John 2.0 and achieves all of his goals, what would he do in this situation? Oh, well, yeah, we'll probably go ahead with it. Okay, so what should we do right now? Yeah, we should probably go ahead. Boom, you've got your high ticket close. But if you don't do the digging deeper into the goals, you can't use something like that to get past their objections. And that's why most of you get stuck on objections, because you've not dig deeper into pain. You've not dig deeper into the goals, so you have no emotional ammunition to fire back at them. And lastly, in the discovery phase, make sure you always understand their ideal outcome. This is just essentially what is their vision and goal in 6 to 12 months. Is it so that they can take their top off at the beach? Is it so they can look good for their wedding photos? You must understand on a deep level their ideal outcome. This is different to what their goals are because their goals are surface level. Everyone's goal is to gain more muscle and lose more fat. But what's their ideal outcome of what's going to happen once they've lost the fat or once they've gained the muscle? This is the deeper goal, this is their deeper ideal outcome that's going to make them want to be paying $5,000 to you at the end of the call. Step 3 is pitching the solution. Now, not pitching the product or pitching the service, I mean actually pitching the solution. Most people would say, oh yeah, I do meal plans and check-ins and one-to-ones and my app's really cool and this and that, and they go on like a 10-minute tangent talking about all these things but don't relate it back to the client at all. So if the pain point of your client is that they always binge eat because they're massively overweight, then you need to say that you're going to give them a dedicated meal plan that stops them binge eating. Or if his pain point is he never eats enough protein, you need to give him a tailored meal plan that's going to be built around his 9-to-5 job so that he never misses his protein goal. Not just, I'm going to give you a really cool meal plan that's customizable and it's going to be specific to you. What does that even mean? Tell them how it's going to specifically help them from their situation. And again, you can only do this if you did the discovery phase right. The whole point is to tie each feature of your program, which is basically just meal plans, check-ins and one-to-ones, and training plans, to either a pain or a goal. And this is why you need to write down what their pain and their goal is. So that you can say when you're pitching, the one-to-one accountability isn't just one-to-one check-ins every single week, it's one-to-one check-ins so that you don't relapse and binge eat like you did 6 months ago with your last coach. Now it's specific to their pain and their goal, and you're not just yapping like every other fitness coach out there, because you must understand this. You're not selling the process. You're not selling meal plans. You're not selling training plans. What you're selling is transformation. So the action step for you here is every time you take a sales call, make sure you write down the 3 ways that your meal plan is going to help them overcome a pain or a goal. Your training plan is going to help them overcome a pain or achieve a goal. And your one-to-one accountability is going to help them achieve one of their goals or overcome one of their pains. But it must be specific to their current situation. And what you'll find out is if you actually do these steps that I've broken down for you, you don't need crazy sales tactics. You don't need to know the A to Z of objection handling, because you've intentfully listened, you set the frame at the beginning, and you've tailored the program to them in a specific way which makes them understand that you know exactly what's stopping them and what they need to do to reach their goals. And they're going to feel so heard, they're going to feel so understood and so grateful that they are going to buy. And even if they do say they need to think about it, they just need a little reminder of what they said earlier in the call to get them back on track and ready to buy. Now that's the full A to Z of what you need to do to manage your sales calls in a non-salesy way. And if you want the rest of the system that goes along with it, like how to fulfill, how to market, how to generate leads, how to book the calls in, I've given away a full case study that breaks down our exact strategy of how we've generated over $1 million in the last 9 months for online fitness coaches into a full case study video, and it's in the top line of the description. Go watch that video for my full strategy. I give it all away for completely free, or hit the link below that and drop me a follow on Instagram so you can check out all of my content for free so you can scale your fitness coaching brand. Peace out, guys.